Good afternoon and welcome to my humble model railway. Now today we're going to celebrate a new arrival, okay, hopefully. Now what we've got here, this has just come from a shop called AC Models in Eastleigh in Hampshire, okay. I bought this off eBay, came very quick. And I know unwrappings and unboxings probably leave a lot of people cold, but I think this will give you some idea about how such a model might be presented or would arrive. Okay, so we've got the bubble wrap off now, so it came all nicely wrapped up in bubble wrap. The box looks all good. Well, a lot of you are not here for the box. You can see what we got here now for today is a 3200 Earl Class Duke Dog locomotive. I've not run this before, I've no idea what it's going to go like, okay? So we're going to have a little look and just see what we've got inside in, quite shortly. Right, it's a very brief history of these. So what I'm going to have to do is I'll have to fill in the gaps somewhere along the line as to why these were actually manufactured. Okay. Right, so this has come from AC Models. We'll get the box open and then we'll get the our Earl Class out and take a look. So it comes in the block of ice packaging there. They warned you that a locomotive and tender are coupled together. So we'll see about that when we get it out of the box. Okay. So we're just going to slide off the outer sleeve. So it's a normal standard block of ice packaging. There we go. So we're slowly getting there. A lot of people say, "Oh, get on with it, just get out of the box, come on." I'm not here to see a box. I'm just going to briefly show you the detail pack there from a distance there. It's got the brake rigging in there. Would appear to be for the locomotive. Got some nice firing irons in there as well, lots of tools and things. It looks like there's an accessory to attach a speaker as well, and other accessories in there too. So got a nice detail pack there. Now we're going to open up this block of ice packaging and we'll see what we got. Now the first thing that we'll be looking for here is, yeah, no bits hanging, no bits coming off of it. And we'll take her out of this block of ice packaging now. So now we've got the model in all its glory on my railway. I'll have a little look around her now. Once we've got everything assembled, I like to put everything back together again a little bit first. I don't lose any bits. We're going to have a look at the instructions as well, give us some idea about what we got here. See my Duke Dog there? I bet you're saying, go on, get on the track, come on, hurry up. Won't be long, don't worry. I don't very often do unboxings and stuff like this because usually pardon me, I'm usually straight onto the track, but we'll put everything together first so I don't, like I say, so I don't lose any bits on it. There we go. Now, okay, we appear to have a guarantee card, a product warranty card there, that's fine. Just put that to one side. Oh, there we are, and so we've got a nice helpful leaflet all about the mechanism, we can see there. How it all comes apart. And where to oil it and everything else. Running in, DCC fitting, let's have a look, running in. Approximately 1 hour in each direction at moderate speed. Okay, we'll soon find out about that. Now, one thing that a lot of people talk about these particular models is the coupling, and we're going to have a look at the coupling now. And yes, it's right. Yeah, The coupling hook just simply goes over a kind of a bar, and I won't show you that from underneath, but it literally, if you're not careful, that's a bit bent there. Straight now. Okay, right. So if you're not careful, you can leave the whole thing, the tender and the train being put along by the wires that are underneath. In fact, let's see if we can have a look at this now. Not to bear with me because I'm trying to manoeuvre around the camera and have a proper look. So I don't think we'll be able to see underneath. Let's see if we can. There we are, just underneath there. You see the coupling bar there. That has already come unhooked from the tender. Okay, it's not a very, I don't think it's a very, personally I don't think it's a very good way of holding it together. It should have been held together by a screw maybe. I might find some way of making that a little bit more captive on there. Okay, now what we're going to do, now we have a little bit of a novelty on here. This is purely a trial. And you wonder why I've got this in fact in reality a chopping board. Okay, we're going to put plates on here. Now we're not going to subject it to a beaching style axe or anything. We'll just get the flat there like that. Okay, so now we can have a proper look at her. Let's zoom in a little. Okay, now what I got is something called a Duke dog. Okay, and it's basically an amalgamation of two different locomotives, and they were built to suit a particular need. Now you think, looking at this, looking at say the style of the tender, the style of the cab and everything else, that this is probably from a bygone age. You think it's probably something that was produced around about the same time as maybe the City Class was. I may even go back to be designed by Dean. But this one was in fact designed by Charles Benjamin Collett. And what it was an amalgamation of two earlier locomotives. Okay, and are you trying to get this the right way round now? Yeah, so what it was the Duke class boiler added to a Bulldog class frames. So although they were very earlier, made from earlier locomotives, these actual Duke dogs did not come out until the mid 1930s. And then in 1946, after nationalisation, yeah, they were renumbered. I mean, they were originally given a 3200 class, but that was given to the Collett Goods after nationalisation. And then after 1946 he became the 90 XX class. Okay, so that gives you a little bit of history. Now the specific need for these, okay, was because of railway lines in Wales. Okay, nothing against the Wales. What it was is lines like the Cambrian Coast line is more likely built. And that's not just down to the track, it's more importantly down to bridges and other structures. They were given a more severe weight loading or limit. And so these locomotives were actually built especially for that particular need. Okay, I think also in Wales, I think Wales might have been one of the last strongholds of the Dean Goods as well, because they again a locomotive that fitted a particular weight limits. Now we're going to have a nice look around here now, which is on this little circular chopping board. It is like a glorified turntable, so we can turn around. Okay, without me dragging it all over the place. And we'll have a look at it from the front first of all. Now being black, obviously, it's not going to be easy to pick up all the details because it's all just one colour and it's blending in. But you've got the buffer beam there. You've got a vacuum pipe attached to it and a coupling hook, and also sort of standard NEM coupling, I believe. 9028 is the number on the front. Now it's got a copper style chimney there, and I think that possibly could be actual copper. Now it's got a dome there, and then the safety, and then steam dome, and then the safety valves are a little bit behind that. So I'll look at that in a minute. And the whistles are also brass. So that gives us a little look at the locomotive there. and we'll have a look at it from the side. And I think you can see from here now that we're looking at a 440 locomotive. So it's very much similar to the City Class, but built to be within a special weight limit. Okay. Now, these actual Earl classes, I believe there's just one left in preservation, and I think that's Earl of Barclay Earl Class, and that's been seen on the Llangollen Railway in Wales in the past. So I think we see this on one of these actually running on YouTube. I've seen it's got the early BR crest as well, and that's why it's in BR black as well. Now moving up to here, you wonder what are these poles for sticking out the top of the tender there. You've got you can see there's one. I'll get my little paintbrush come pointer a minute. There we go. And there's one there, see, and there's another one here. I believe that was to actually support a canvas sheet, just to make it a little bit more comfortable for the loco crew. Okay. Now, what we're going to try and do now is have a look inside the cab if we can, and we'll turn that round now. Now you're going to see that we're going to lose the light straight away. So I'm going to try and bring some another light source in focus for it as well. There you are, just about to see the cab detail there. It's a fully painted cab, fully decorated cab. And we'll see if we can get a light source in there to have a look. There we are. So now you've got a much better view of what the cab looks like as well. Okay, really nice that. Okay, a real step up from you know, the actual sort of all black cabs, which are not painted or decorated in any way at all. Very nicely picked out there. I think then again you can see clearly see the actual supports there down there as well for the canvas sheet that would have given extra shelter to the loco crew. I'm going to just move the lamp away again just a little bit. And I'm going to try to improve the lighting a little bit in here, but I'm a little bit restricted for space as well in this room, which doesn't help much. And try and improve the lighting a little bit for you. There you can see the steps on the back of the tender there. Also another vacuum pipe and the buffers. Let's have a look and see now. Are they sprung? No. Okay, but that to me is not a problem. But they appear to be made of metal, so that's a nice feature. And then we're just going to move across to the other side of the locomotive as well now. Okay, so let's raise her up a little bit. There we are. So we've got a much nicer view of this now. I brought the lights a little bit closer to it. You can clearly see our 440 wheel arrangement, and also the coupling rods are right on the outside as well. So that's quite interesting. That's very similar to the City Class. We've got our tender there, complete with the early crest, which is, I think they call it the unicycling lion. And then you can see you've got detail like the suspension springs under there. A nice touch there. There's the spring there as well. Okay, and you can sort of appreciate the fact that this locomotive looks like it's come from a different age. Okay, but like I say, they were actually produced in the mid 1930s as a particular need. Of course, then there would have been the Second World War, and then nationalisation took place in 1948, 47, 48, and that's of course why this one is now in the BR livery under nationalisation. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to turn around again a little. Again, we'll have another look at the other side. We didn't get very good lighting on it before. There we are. So the camera's focusing in quite nicely there. And you can see the spring there, the spring detail there. Yeah, altogether a very nice model from Bachmann, I think. Now, one thing I will say is that when I open this up, nothing fell off. Okay. I don't think I've ever had anything fall off a Bachmann loco. I mean, I'm not going to be trying to tempt fate here, but they've always arrived usually in a very good condition. And what we're going to do is we're going to give her a little run around the track, see how she goes. Okay, I'm going to try and get close as well to see what that little Yeah, the yellow route marker, I think that's B on, a letter B on there. I'm just about to see from this distance. Okay. Obviously, I think the most extreme loading is red, I think, on the Great Western Railway, or on the this will be the Great Western Region of British Rail. Okay, the Western Region. Very, very nice locomotive. Lots of separately fitted parts on there. Nice cab. The coal on Bachmann, the coal tends to be a little tends to glisten quite a lot, and I personally I like that, because that could be the coal after it's actually been dampened down with water. It would probably look like that. That's obviously to suppress dust. And you can see there as well on the tender as well. Let's see if we can turn it around a bit more. I've got a better view of the front of the tender there. There you can see the wire handles there. I should imagine that's to operate the brakes and the water scoop. I'm trying to bring it a little bit closer again. We'll see if we can go a bridge too. Don't want to go a bridge too far. And there you can clearly see the yellow root disc there as well. Okay, root availability. The actual whistles there are not in brass. I mean they've been painted black, and I think that would be a sort of a BR thing. You can see the whistles there as well, just on the front of the cab there. Perfect. Okay, so without any further ado, I think a lot of you will be thinking, well, how does this model actually run? So what we're going to do, we're going to give it a run around the track now. I've not run this one before, so this will be quite a new experience for all of us, really. Okay, so let's just move the lamp across a second. In fact, what I'm actually using is a kind of a hobby style reading lamp. I'll just move this out of the way as well. A few bits and pieces are in the way there. I'll put that down there. Now you'll be asking what price I paid for this, and I paid, I think it was £138 for this one, if I remember rightly. It's the way that prices are going at the moment. I mean, it's the one that I wanted. It was advertised as brand new in the box, never been opened. I think it's all they did is just popped a card in with the dealer's name and address on it. Okay, so it all came out of there quite nice. Okay, like I say, no bits and pieces coming off of it, and we'll just see how she runs. Now, you'll see me use a railing ramp here. Now, a lot of people would say, well, why bother with one? I say, well, why put yourself through all the grief when you can do it as easy as this? Okay, famous last words, but here we go. We're just going to move the carriages back slightly there. And we'll see if we can get our Earl Class onto the track. I'm making sure that coupling doesn't come undone. Oh, that's in. Right, okay, let's bring it back a little. Now that coupling is really annoying. The way that's coming down onto the track now, that's actually being pulled along by the wires. Okay. There we are, now I think it's hooked on correctly. And we're on the rails. Please excuse the notification coming on the phone there. Let's just drive her forward a second, we'll just see how she goes. Right, so she moves straight out of the box, so that's perfect. Okay, so we're running straight from the box. We just move our little chopping board come turntable to one side a second. Remove the railing ramp, and then we're going to give her a little run. Let's see how she runs in reverse. Then we're going to couple her up to the coaches. That's quite nice control there, quite like that. Let's just see now, nice and easy does it. Thought it had a nice reassuring clunk there as it went in. I was just going to check we're fixed, set for the main line on the other junction. Yes, we are. Right, so now we're underway. Okay, what a lot of you are just what a lot of you have been actually waiting for. Okay, so we're away now, running through the likely day tracks of North Wales. Okay, now one of the structures which exists, which does maybe put a limit on the weight of locomotives, so on the Cambrian coastline, is Barmouth Viaduct. I think it's one of the longest wooden viaducts in the world. In fact, it's not the longest. You can see articles about Barmouth Viaduct on YouTube, and I think there was a programme came on, I think it was Britain's Most Scenic Journeys, talking about North Wales and the Cambrian coastline. So you can imagine this whizzing down the Cambrian coastline, perhaps. Okay, I think they were withdrawn in the early 1960s, these locomotives, but that was the case of a lot of locomotives. You imagine that the Kings didn't get past 1962, so they had a pretty good run, considering that they were amalgamation of two much earlier locomotives. So we've got the Bulldog chassis with the boiler from a Duke class. So that's why they're called a Duke Dog. And they were in fact classified the Earl Class. And then some of you might wonder why they got the differing numbers on the Great Western livery, which I think is 3200 class. And this is, I think this was the, let's get my facts right. It was a 3200 class. They were given a 90 odd class, and they were given a 9 because of the Collet goods. They took over the numbers. Let's have a look and see what we've got here. Get close, get my facts right. 9028. This one is. Okay, now it's also pulling Collet coaches. Now you think with a locomotive of this appearance, it should be pulling the Clerestory coaches, which were by Dean, but in fact they're pulling the Collet coaches, and this is a locomotive designed by Charles Benjamin Collet. Charles Benjamin Collet was the chief mechanical engineer of the Great Western Railway from 1923 to 1941. Okay. Now, what do I think of this model? Delighted. Would I recommend one? Yes. The only thing, I mean, and it's something which has been pointed out by practically all the other reviewers, I wish Bachmann would do something about the coupling between the tender and the locomotive, the drawbar, because that should be more permanently attached, I think, or given a screw attachment or something just hold it in place. Because as you saw when I tried to put this onto the railing ramp, it actually became uncoupled. And in fact, the first time, I mean, I wasn't warned of this. In fact, it was another reviewer called A.D. Pullen who warned me about this problem with the coupling between the locomotive and the tender. And he said that I could be running it around pulling on the wires, and yes, in fact I was, and that was with my other Bachmann locomotive that I had, which was a city class, Killarney. Okay, so that's something you need to watch out for should you buy one of these. But once you've actually got them successfully coupled together, then they're absolutely fine. Now I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and of course I did a complete unboxing as well, and that was to give you some idea about what to expect. I mean, in my opinion, when you receive something, the whole experience is when you unbox it and when you actually get it out of the box and you see what it looks like and everything else. I mean, some people think, well, it's just a box, isn't it, so why don't you get down to it, down to the locomotive, but, you know, and that's all down to personal preference. Now the actual information on the back of this box is quite brief actually. The Great Western Railway 3200 class was a class of steam locomotive with a 440 wheel arrangement and nicknamed Earl or Duke Dog class. These passenger train locomotives were composed of former Duke class boilers on Broad Dog class frames. They were the last steam locomotive classes to retain outside frames. This is where you got that arrangement with the coupling rods as well. The first prototype conversion retained its Duke number and name, but others took new numbers and 32XX series and were given the name of Earls, who had some connection with the Great Western Railway. These names were removed and reapplied to Castle class locomotives in 1937. Yeah, so I wonder why you've got some castles called Earls. There's a castle class called Earl of Mount Edgecombe, but I digress. The names are, in 1946, all class was renumbered 90XX upon the delivery of the new 2251 class engines. Only one member of the class survives in preservation at the Boulevard Railway, number 9017, which would have been 3217, and that's Earl of Berkeley, I believe. Okay, so this one here then is quite accurate, because I was thinking, well, where's the nameplates? Just crossed my mind then as I watched it going round, but of course the nameplates were actually removed on it. Okay, so there is, like I said, another reviewer out there, Aidan Pullen has reviewed one of these as well, and his reviews are worth a look, just in case there's anything which I missed in this particular video. Okay, and in a moment I'll be bidding you farewell, but I think we'll be watching this one go round for a little bit longer, as it's my new toy, so to speak. Watch it whizzing through the other station there, down country station. And in fact I've managed to bring a little bit of better lighting to this layout. There's an additional piece of lighting here, and it's just basically an LED reading lamp, which has brought extra illumination here, and also there's another desktop style lamp to one side as well. I'm going to try to bring better overhead lighting to this as well, because I tend to cast a bit of a shadow over this when I walk up to change the points. And in fact, this is something which we want to know before we actually sign off. What's she like on points? Okay, so we're going to bring her up to the signal there, and this will be a good test of its points abilities, because it'll be going away from quite a slow start. Okay, so we're going to bring her into the station, and we got a group of happy passengers waiting to be pulled by our Duke Dog. Maybe they're going on holiday to Barmouth or Aberystwyth, maybe, perhaps. Of course, it was after 1923 that a lot of the Welsh railways were actually absorbed into the Great Western Railway, and this is when the need for additional locomotives for the Welsh conditions actually came to be. Okay, so we're going to bring her in now, and we'll just watch her go over the points. Yeah, they managed to negotiate the points there. No derailing. I'm going to slow her right down now, just to watch what she's like on a crawl. With that, that to me is enough of a crawl. Now, from my point of view, slow speed running. Remember, this has not been running yet. They're telling me to run this for an hour in both directions. So what I'll probably do is give her a little run later on when I go downstairs and catch up on a load of episodes I recorded of Mike and Portillo's Great Railway Journeys, Great British Railway Journeys. I'll catch up on that. Okay, so I should bid you farewell now, okay? And thank you very, very much for watching my little review here. I haven't had a chance to look underneath to see what the pickup situation is, but I do believe that there are pickups in the tender as well as the locomotive, simply because there's wiring gone between the back. And I think obviously in the tender there will be probably the space for the DCC sockets, okay? But me, I'm a DC man. I'm at the moment I'm Mr. Analog, okay? Very much. Now we just reached the recording limit on this particular one, so I've overrun again with my jabbering. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do this through the video editor just to bring the two halves together. Alright, so it just add these final few seconds on, believe it or not. So it's going to take quite a while to get this out to you. I just filmed this, it's now sort of about, just gone 3:45 on a Tuesday afternoon. In October the 5th of 2021. Okay, and now if you like what you see, obviously give me a thumbs up, and you want to see more videos, subscribe and ring that bell to be alerted to more videos. We've got a small but growing number of subscribers to this channel, and everybody that subscribes obviously very, very welcome. And obviously if I take a look at your channel and I like what I see, I'll also subscribe to you. So it's a two-way street on that one, okay? And obviously if anybody is given any useful information or reviews that I think are useful to watch, then obviously you will get a mention as well, okay? So I would bid you farewell. Thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you for your interest, and bye bye. Thank you.